Hey everybody, this is PJ Riley from Lancaster Archery. Exciting day here in our shooting center. I'm here with the outdoor groups Josh Sidebottom, Nathan Brooks, and guys, we have a really interesting new bow today. We're going to dive into it. Josh, tell us what it is and give us the overview specs on it.
So this is the 2020 REZULT bow. It's our new target bow. A lot of new cool technology on this thing that I'm sure we'll get into, but it's a 38-inch axle-to-axle bow, 7.25-inch brace height, 325 feet per second IBO, draw length range of 24 to 31 inches, and we'll get into how you adjust that here in a minute, but available in 40, 50, 55, 60, and 70-pound draw weights.
And first impressions, Nathan, you've been shooting this a while. Tell everybody what you think about it from the shooter's standpoint.
Well, we ain't got enough time, but I'm going to try and condense it as fast as I can. It's super impressive. Why? That's going to be the question. Why?
Right.
The balanced Asym Tri-Track cams that we have on this bow make this bow, in my mind, so easy for so many people to be able to tune this bow with some of the new technologies we have in there and in the bow with the S.E.T technology that we'll talk about. Yep. That is just amazing what it does. So from top to bottom, what I've seen out of this bow is nothing but extreme performance, extreme tunability, shootability to the maximum. We've got everything that you're looking for a target shooter is on this bow.
Awesome. All right, Josh, let's start with the cam. Let's talk about what it does, what it can do, and why it's so effective.
So like Nathan said, this is our Asym Tri-Track cam system. This is an all-new platform for Elite. We have been a two-track cam system company historically, and that has done great things for us. It's developed the shootability that everyone's chasing now. So we wanted to keep that, but we wanted to bring some new technology and new features into our platform. So we tried to mimic the feel of the two-track and did it, I believe, very successfully with this new cam system. So it's going to feel like an Elite. Right. It's got the high let off. It's got the smooth draw cycle that everyone wants. But it's a rotating module system now. So you can adjust this from 24 to 31 inches without a bow press. We're getting a huge range of draw length adjustment. And then we also have cable stops, limb stops, adjustable let off from 90 down to, with the cable stops about 70, 75%. And then with the limb stop, you can go even further. You could get this to 60% let off if you wanted. I can't hold that kind of weight. I don't know who can, but more power to you. But the other really cool thing about this is it's a balanced cam system. We've got a cable on either side of the string track, which keeps the limb tips, everything extremely stable and balanced throughout the draw cycle. Reduces cam lean, does a lot of really good things for the forgiveness and consistency of how this bow performs.
Yeah. So talk about, we were talking earlier about there's you and Tommy Gomez at the factory shooting this thing, and you guys shoot very differently. And explain what that was like in the past versus what that's like now.
Yeah, so we call him Right Tear Tommy, but he's we grip the bow differently. So if I have a bow perfectly tuned for me, maybe I'm a left tear guy, but if it's tuned for me, he's going to get 1.5 inches right tear consistently. And historically, we would, if we were trying to set that bow up for both of us to tune, we'd shim the cams or mess with something else to get it arrow spine. But with this new cam system, with how balanced it is, we can take the same bow, and I've got a bare shaft at 20 yards, shooting a perfect bullet hole, and he has just a barely right tear, and his bare shafts, are like 1 inch off at 20 yards, which is
and that's because of the stability, as you were saying.
Yeah, the lateral knock travel's been reduced to almost nothing with the cables on both sides, so it's much more forgiving, and we've narrowed that range of what you can expect to see from different grip pressure and face pressure and arrow spines and all those variables that everyone deals with the new cam system. And then that little bit of variability that's left when we get into the S.E.T technology, that takes care of the rest of it.
I know, Nathan, you're excited about that S.E.T technology. Tell us how that works.
Yeah, so, my passion in archery, a lot is driven from the technical aspects of wanting to tear stuff apart and find a better way.
Right.
And so S.E.T technology was something that Josh designed super fast on an idea that I had and was playing with. And so we jump into this, and the first prototype that he gets to me is like, we're playing with this thing, and I'm seeing the range of adjustability that it has is amazing. So what it basically does is it creates a pivot point right here on the pocket that adjusts the cam attitude. So as you make adjustments at the pocket, you can adjust the cam to lean to the right or to the left, which is going to inherently affect how your bow tunes.
Right.
Whether you're bare shaft tuning, paper tuning, whatever tuning you want to do, you can adjust it right here. And the cool thing is you don't need a bow press to do any of it. You can adjust it right on the shooting line when you're, whether you're be in the shooting lane or whether you be at 20 yards shooting or however you're doing it.
Sure.
You can fine tune this system extremely, extremely fine. And I don't want to talk about how fine you can do it.
Right.
It is fine, okay? But it's also broad.
Sure.
And that's what we were talking about earlier, is we can reach such a wide audience that we haven't been able to reach maybe in the past because of the adjustability that we have. And like I said, being able to do that without a bow press really makes it easy. So you have on this particular system, on the S.E.T system here, you have a lockdown screw, which locks the pocket in place where it will not move. But rest assured, I've shot this thing a tremendous amount with this screw completely out, and it still doesn't go anywhere.
Doesn't move.
But thankfully, old Josh here says, you know what, we do need a lockdown screw, and I'm saying, yes, let's put it on there. So we go ahead and put that extra security on there where you have that lockdown. But you can drive this pocket with the micro drive screw here on the side, and it pivots the pocket like this, which affects the attitude of the cam at full draw and at brace height. And what is even simpler about this, what's even nicer about this, is that we have this little call out here that you can see which direction you need to move it. So if you have a right tear, if you have a left tear, whatever you're having lateral issues with, it's right here. You can just make the turn.
RT for right tear, LT for left tear.
Yep, and you can make that adjustment right there, and you'll see the result really fast.
And we have it on both the top and the bottom cams, which adds to that finite adjustments. If we were using yokes, which a lot of people are used to, you're limited to half twists.
Yes,
whatever
and
you can do.
You might be limited if it's a hybrid cam bow to only being able to adjust one side, one limb tip. And with being able to adjust both, you have a lot of adjustment, range of motion there. And I might also add too that I've added 1/4-inch axles and bearings to this cam system too, which also makes those limb tips really stable across the whole platform. So everything about this system that they have designed into it, from the Asym Tri-Track cam down to this S.E.T technology and the additions they've made out here, it's just screams stability, more stable. And again, like I said, that reaches such a wide audience of people because it is so stable.
While you're holding it like that, people are going to see this sticking down right here, the plate for the limb stop. Josh, tell us about that, why it looks like that, and what it does.
Yeah, so one of the challenges with this new cam design when we're working on it is trying to incorporate a limb stop and a cable stop option. Elites have been a limb stop primarily, and we have a lot of consumers that really like that. And when you put a cable on either side of the cam, there's some challenges that come in on trying to get a limb stop on it. And honestly, I had kind of thrown in the towel. I can't figure out a way to get a limb stop on this. And Tommy kept pushing, we got to have a limb stop. And then it just came. But by putting the landing pad in this position, it allowed the limb stop to be mounted to the mod and the cable stop, which clears it from any issues with the cable and allows for your range of adjustment actually on the mod. And it works great. So you can shoot this cable stops, you can shoot limb stops, you can have them hitting basically simultaneously, I actually like the feel of the cable stops hitting just before the limb stops, just my personal preference. Because the limb stops will limit you on how far you can pull into the wall.
Right.
But I like a little bit of that soft feel right at full draw.
Which, in explaining to some people who may not know the difference, the cable stop, there's some give there.
Yep.
But when you're hitting a limb stop, that's it.
Yeah,
It doesn't move
it's
anymore.
done. Yeah.
The limb pocket here, you got a new system for that as well. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we talked about S.E.T technology, and that's integrated into our new Stabilock limb pockets. And we focused on the stability of this entire system and the design, and that limb pocket is part of it. It has lockdown screws on both sides of the front. We talked about the S.E.T and how that locks down, but it's also a wider stance of the limbs, which also assists in the stability of the whole system.
Gotcha. So if you're changing draw weight, are you having to loosen any of these screws before you work on a limb bolt?
We recommend that you loosen the two on the front, and before you make any limb bolt adjustments. But there's 3 full turns of limb bolt adjustment on this bow, which equates to 10 full pounds of adjustment.
Awesome. All right. So now, how about the riser and the grip? The riser, of course, has a basic Elite look, but there are some differences in it. Tell us about that.
Every year we're playing with the geometry to get the right balance of stiffness and mass weight and all those things that we want. We did the grips that we had on the Echelon series of bow, everyone really liked. We made a couple small adjustments to it. It's a little bit narrower. It's still got a decent flat spot on the back, which are the feedback is that people really like that. So there's a couple small adjustments to that. And then we do have an updated version of our cable slide system.
Right.
So this is the S2S, the side-to-side adjustment. So we, with all the adjustment we have with S.E.T technology, this is how you're going to tune your bow. Right. A lot of the other things that we've had in the past were kind of to try to help with tuning without having to take the bow apart. This fixes all of that. So we don't need it. So really this is going to be primarily for fletching clearance. So if you're shooting a small arrow, you can reduce the lateral load on the riser, or you can give it more if you're shooting a bigger arrow. You can also still use it to fine tune left and right, but the S.E.T is so easy to use. I don't know that I think it'll be more for fletching clearance.
So Nathan, to that end, we were talking about this. For the archer who, wants to shoot indoor and maybe outdoor target, fat arrows, skinny arrows, a lot of times archers might be thinking about 2 different bows. You don't have to do that with this one. Explain why.
No, you don't. All right, I'm one that when I find a bow that I like, how it aims, how it feels from top to bottom, I can set up another one that's identical to it, and a lot of times they don't feel the same, even though they're identical. So the nice thing with the S.E.T technology is if you want to shoot big arrows and you want to shoot small arrows, what I've found in the past is I would have to make a spacing adjustment of my cam one way or the other to change when I go to little arrows.
Yep.
In S.E.T technology, you don't have to do that. You can just make that adjustment right here at the limb pocket. You can mark it where you had your big arrow set, and you can go right back to that exact setting. You can still change out your arrow rest. If you want to go to the skinny blade or whatever that you might need for the little arrows, you're obviously going to need to. If you want to keep your sight settings the same, you're going to want to change your sight out. You can do all that. We have all the accessories for that. But the beauty of this is you can just make that adjustment super quick right here with the limb pockets on S.E.T technology, and you're set, ready to go.
And you did it. You went from micro diameter to 27s just by marking it, and everything went right back to where you.
Yep, and you can, like I said, you can literally make those adjustments. I marked mine with a Sharpie. Right. So I knew right where I was at. I went right back to that spot, and at 20 yards, when I threw everything back on, the first arrow goes right back in the X. So that's a really, really nice feeling for me on the competitive side of things, knowing that I can stick with one bow that I really like.
So Josh, up here we got new dampeners there. Tell us about that. People haven't seen those before.
In the past, we've used some different dampeners, but we designed our own called the Vibex block, and not only does it offer some cool look and branding, but it's taking what little vibration there is, out of the limbs and absorbing that so that the shooter's not feeling it. And, that'll come on, standard on these bows.
Right. Well, I can just say, I know we took a couple minutes and I shot it. We took it out of tune, took it back into tune, didn't go anywhere, no presses, just the Allen keys. I mean, it just, in a couple minutes, we could go from bullet hole to out of bullet hole and right back. I mean, it was a snap to really tune that thing, which is pretty incredible.
Yeah, that's really what we wanted. You know, our focus when designing this bow is stability, which we believe results in forgiveness and accuracy, and then the ease of adjustment. And I believe this bow has more adjustment, easier to tune than anything I've seen.
You know, something to mention about the adjustment too, quarter-inch adjustments on this rotating mod. Not half-inch, not 1 inch.
Right.
A rotating mod that does quarter-inch adjustments. So something that I just did this past week with mine, as I was playing with it at home, I felt like I was just a little bit long. And I loved the way I had the bow feeling at full draw, the way the let-off felt. And so something that I was able to do was change that 1/4 of an inch and not change the way the let-off feels at all.
No twisting cables.
No,
you
nothing.
Just do it right.
Well, I mean, you know, not even having to go to a bow press, which is kind of one of those things that's just almost foreign for me to say those things. But you have 7 inches of adjustment in this cam system. And all the adjustment that you want for let off, like Josh said, I'm not man enough to hold some of it back if you wanted to try that. But, you know, some people do.
Yeah.
And so you have so much range of motion in the draw length of this, but yet at the same time, you can get it exactly where you want it without having to change the way it feels. And that's big.
So that is the Elite REZULT. Lots of fine tuning, obviously in a target bow. That's what archers are looking for. Precision accuracy we're talking about here. The Elite REZULT, brand new for 2020. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like it, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to click that bell to get notifications when we put out new videos. And as always, if you have any questions, you can visit us at LancasterArchery.com.